Why don't you just quit? Seriously, why don't you just stop everything? The business is failing. Your family doesn't ever see you. You don't have any friends. You're not making any money. You're missing your bills. Your clients are constantly hassling you, calling you, texting you, complaining, wanting more changes. You're not getting any sleep. Why don't you just quit? If you've not asked yourself that question at least once in your entrepreneurial journey, then maybe you're not really building towards anything. It's a question that every entrepreneur asks himself, every business owner, but you don't even have to be in business to be wondering this. Anything that you're doing in your personal lives, in your relationships, there's always going to be tough times. And so this question comes up pretty often. All right. I've been burnt out more times than I can think of running my agency. Even when things are good, you get burnt out. And all it takes is a client to bring you a problem or a client to cancel or a team member to leave to just turn a tiny hole into a giant grave. Why not just quit? Why not throw in the towel? Why not let this be the end of it? Is it pride? Is that the reason you don't quit? Is that the reason you don't just give up? Is it because you think people are going to make fun of you? People are going to call you a quitter? Or is it because you're actually building towards something that's going to be absolutely amazing? Is it because you're building a life that you want and you understand that putting in the effort now, going through the trials now is necessary to get you to the other side? I know it's easy to talk about failures and trials when you're not in it. But if you've been through real hardship, then you know that when you're in it, it doesn't really matter what anyone says. You are so close to giving up, to quitting everything you worked for up until this point. I've certainly been there in my personal life, in my business, in the army. In many situations, I've been in the exact same place where I've hit rock bottom. You can't get any lower. This is it. This is the end of the rope. So don't think I'm just sitting here talking down to people in those situations. Honestly, I want you to ask yourself this question right now. Why not just quit? Even if your business is somewhat successful, if you dread going to work on Mondays, why not just quit? Why not go back to corporate life? Why not go back to something that's less stressful, something you actually enjoy that still pays the bills? Why are you pushing to be a millionaire when you don't even know what you're going to do with $1,000,000? It's a very important question that I think everyone should ask themselves when they're not going through the toughest of times. So I asked this question on my Facebook page a few weeks ago, and the responses were amazing. Some people cannot quit. They're obligated to move forward. Maybe they have loans, maybe they have debt. Other people have the mentality that quitting is not an option. One even said, can't stop, won't stop, which is easy to say when you're not in the middle of something. Other responses were very real and personal. One person said they did quit and weighed the options. They decided to quit. And in the end, quitting solved nothing. Quitting was worse than continuing what was going on. Another guy said that quitting would eat him alive. He knows that no matter how hard it is to continue going, to put up with the BS, to put up with the haters, to put up with the long days and the working on the weekends, he realizes that quitting is going to be way worse than that. Even if he did end up getting a job to where things were nice, things were easy, inside he would hate himself for quitting. Reading these responses, reading the success stories of people who've made it through the other side, it doesn't help when you're in it. So you need to find what is true for you. And it's best to find that thing now before you're in the hardest time. You need to be strong in your beliefs. You need to be strong in your relationships. You need to be strong in understanding why you're doing what you're doing. And you need to do that now before you get to the lowest of lows, because at that point, you're not strong enough to think this way. Why did you start your business? Why did you quit the 9 to 5 to go work 5 to 9? It doesn't make sense to a lot of people. And sometimes it doesn't even make sense to us. There's been many times where on Sundays, I've just sat on the couch and doing absolutely nothing because I want the day to take as long as possible. Because I know that as soon as I hit the bed, I'm going to wake up on Monday and I got to start the whole thing again. Why did I do that? I ask myself that so many times. Why do I keep doing this? I'm running my own business, setting my own hours, and I hate it. But for me, there was really no other option. I've worked for myself for so long that I cannot possibly go work for someone else and stick with their schedule. my life, my family's life. That's all we've known for 15 plus years. The only other job I've really had was when I was in the Army, and that was easy. You're told when to wake up, when to work out, when to eat. Everything is neatly laid out for you. All you have to do is follow instructions, and your day is taken care of. Your housing's taken care of, your food, your family, your insurance. Everything is totally taken care of. And honestly, it was the easiest job in the world in that sense. The only stress that I had was physical stress, right? Psychological stress. Well, I guess that's kind of the same thing. But would I go back to it? Yeah, maybe. Actually, I thought about it many times, but I have too many kids at this point to make that actually happen. Check out the newsletter, check out the responses, check it out on Facebook. Things aren't going to get easier. You have to understand that. You have to get stronger. And part of that is realizing why you put yourself through this week after week, day after day. It doesn't have to be some monumentous why that books are written about. You don't have to know your why. You just really need to ask yourself, why do you get up and do this time after time, as much as you hate it, as much as it sucks, as stressful as it is? All right. It could be something simple. One response in social media was just one word: mom. It can be that simple. If that's the reason you keep pushing forward, then you need to know that's the reason. And you need to reflect on it, and you need to write it down, and you need to think about it and have it ready when you do go through the lowest of lows, because it's the only thing that's going to push you through to the other side. That's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the newsletter. I send it out every single week, just talking about my personal experiences running businesses and also the experience of others. Hopefully it's helpful. Share it with someone. I would love to hear what your why is, like why you don't quit. So leave it as a comment, send me an email, send me a DM, whatever. I would love to hear your story and be inspired by it. I'll see you next week.